Hello and welcome to another web design tutorial. And in this tutorial we're going to actually do some fun things, pretty fun things. The first thing I want to show you is a fun tag called the PRE tag. So you know how I was saying that HTML doesn't really recognize white spaces? Well, there's this tag called PRE where you can actually have HTML recognize things like that. So if you're creating a poem something like that, like I like mice or mouses and I like houses or something like dumb like that, and you're trying to create a poem or something and you don't want to keep making those BR tags or something like that, you can surround everything in the PRE tag and then have it do it automatically. So let's go ahead and save this, minimize this, look at the website, and as you can see it's formatted just the way we formatted it in our editor, exactly that way. So I don't really use the PRE tag, but it's there, so if you want to do something like that you can always use it. I personally don't like using it too much. So anyways, let's move on. Okay, so the second thing I want to show you is the style attribute. So the style attribute is probably one of the most powerful attributes in HTML because it allows you to do something what's called CSS, which is another language called Cascading Style Sheet. So basically, usually you have this in a separate file and then you import it using in the head tag, but you can actually customize it for each different element. And what CSS basically does is it edits the little details, the design details of each element, the way each element looks like. So for example, this paragraph, it can change the color, the font, the size of this paragraph, everything about this paragraph it can change. So I'll just give you an example. So the style attribute is just called style, okay? And then in here we can add CSS. So for example, if we wanted to change the background color, we would do something like this. Background, and as you can see, Notepad++ is really helpful and it brings up everything that I can type in. So if you ever are having trouble, you can just explore these. So I'm going to say background color, and colon, and then I'm going to say red, something like that. Okay, save it, go to our website, and refresh the page. Now as you can see, this new paragraph, the background is now red. That's awesome. Okay, so next thing I want to talk about is colors. So as you saw, I just typed in red, and I can type in black, I can type in blue, but you know, we want more colors than just red, black, and blue, and green, and just colors we can name. We want to have access to all possible colors. So the way to do this is we need to use a hexadecimal number to get that color. So as you know, colors are made out of red, green, and blue, RGB. So we can actually enter an RGB value into this attribute, into this background color attribute right here. And the way we do that is with a hexadecimal number. So the way you do that is you just type in a pound or that hash thing, and then you start typing in letters and numbers. So right now I just typed in FF, FF, FF. Okay, so this is actually split into, here let me zoom in. This is actually split into 3 sections, R, G, and B, red, green, and blue. So these 2 first letters control the red, these control the green, and these control the blue. And basically the way hexadecimal numbers work is instead of working from 0 to 10 or 0 to 9 in our decimal system, these numbers work from 0 to F. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F. So 0 being the lowest value, F being the highest value. So basically I think this is the highest, actually let's just play around with it. One of these is the higher value and the other is the lower. Just like if you're saying 10, this 10, this 1 is higher. Well, it will affect the number more if we change this decimal rather than this decimal. So I think it works the same way. So I think if we change this decimal, it will affect it more than if we change this decimal. So let's go ahead and try things. So for example, if we wanted to make a completely blue background, we can set this to 0, this to 0, and we want to leave this completely on because that controls the blue. And of course we can't have spaces in between this. It has to be one continuous number, so we have to just close it like that. So I'm going to go ahead and save it, refresh the page, and as you can see, this is now blue. Okay, so what if we wanted to make it darker? So we could actually make this 0, and then let's go ahead and reload it. And as you can see, it didn't really do that much. It only darkened it a little bit. So that's why this value is weighted less than this value. So this value is weighted 16 times more than this. Just like in our decimal, this would be, if it was in our decimal system, the greater digit would be 10 times, have 10 times more effect than the lower digit. So if we did this, if we made this 0 instead of this 0, we would see a much greater difference. As you can see now, it's almost completely black. It's barely blue. So now let's try to add a little bit of green. So we'll add a little bit of green like that. Okay, let's see what happens. So now it's like cyan, something like that. So we combined blue and green, which gave us this color. Okay, so now I'm just going to make it completely white, so we basically won't see it. There we go. So that's how you make hexadecimal colors. And so you basically can make any type of color you would ever want, like that. Okay, so one way you can easily come up with these hexadecimal numbers for the colors is to just go into Paint and go to Edit Colors and just select a color you like. For example, this green or something, and then go to this green right here, and then it'll give you the RGB values for it. So what we have to do is convert it to hexadecimal numbers. So we want to go to our calculator. Okay, we want to go to Programmer. We want to make sure we're in the decimal right here, and we want to copy this value for red, paste it in the calculator, and then go to hexadecimal. This will convert it to a hexadecimal number. We want to copy that, and then we want to paste it in here. So that's for red. That's the number for red. So then we want to do that for the green and also the blue. So I'm going to go back to decimal, paste the blue number in, go back to hexadecimal, copy that, paste it for the green, then go back, copy the number for the blue, go back to our calculator, go to decimal, paste our blue number, go to hexadecimal, copy, paste it in here, save it, and then now we should see our new color that we selected in our Paint program. This exact color is now on our website. So that's an easy way to get exact colors with a Paint program. For Photoshop, it's even easier. Let me load Photoshop real fast. If you have Photoshop, you can actually just go ahead and select a color, any color, and then it gives you a hexadecimal number right away. For example, if we want this purple color, we can just select that purple color and just copy that hexadecimal number right there, go back to our program and paste it in here. We don't have to do that painful process with the calculator or anything. If we go back to our website, oops, I forgot to save it. There we go, save it, go back here, refresh, now we have a new color. It's awesome. Oh, I didn't mean to close it. Oops. Okay, so background color is not the only thing we can change. We can also change the text color. For example, if we want the text color to be that, we can change it to text color. So let me go ahead and close this and start our website. Oops, did not work. Actually, you actually don't need that text whatever thing. You can just say color, and that will affect the text color. So just say color, put that color in there, and then refresh the page, and then their text should be that new color. Great. Okay. You can also have multiple things affecting it at once, separated by a semicolon. So I can change the color, and at the same time I can change the text font. So I can say, it's not text font, it's actually font family. Okay, colon, and I can say something like Arial to change the font to Arial. And let's go ahead. Actually, you know what? I'm going to change a couple other things. I'm going to change the font size, and I'm going to change it to, let's say, 30 pixels. It's going to be pretty big. Okay, and I'm going to make the background color. I'm going to make the background color just completely red. Okay, and I want to make the width a bit smaller, and I'm going to make it only 100 pixels wide. And notice that I have to define these numbers. So when I'm saying a size and when I'm saying a width, I have to put px for pixels. If you want to change the units, like to em or to pt, you can do that by just typing it in. But I like to do it in pixels, so I do it in pixels. So let's go ahead and refresh the page. As you can see, our box is 100 pixels wide, and it's red in the background, still purple as a text color, and it's Arial. Okay, and a neat thing you can do with Chrome to check the style is you can right-click it and say Inspect Element, and this will actually, let me widen this. I think I can bring it down there. There we go. It's better on the bottom, and it will actually allow us to see all the HTML on our page. And when we scroll things in our HTML, it will highlight the corresponding element on our web page, okay, which is pretty cool. And then on the side here, it shows all of the CSS right here, and there's a little check boxes. We can disable different CSS lines. For example, I can disable this color, so go back to its default color. I can disable the font family, I can disable the font size, I can disable the background color, and I can disable the width. Now it's back to normal. Then I can enable back them to show the difference. So you can play around with that to get exactly what you want on each element. So that's a cool little thing you can do. Okay, so I hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope to see you in the next tutorial. Thank you. Bye.